I hand over to the first startup here on stage. And for that, I hand over to the CEO and the co-founder of Circulion. Please shower him with a round of applause. Antoine Welter is with us.
At Circulion, we're shovel makers. For as long as we can think of, we've been mining Mother Earth for materials to foster our economy, but also to have well-being underneath our populations. However, this has always been very tedious. It's been influenced by a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get these raw materials out of the floor. And as we've just seen, and this was not coordinated, there's a lot of buzz about raw materials right now because it's being used as a geopolitical weapon. And that's why, at Circulion, we believe that the future needs to be mindless mining. To accomplish that, we've married hardware and software, so we can dismantle a variety of products in a structured way. And, as I'm sure you all know, who makes the most money in the mining industry? The shovel maker. And that's how we want to build our part to fight in the climate crisis, by leading the urban mining revolution so that we don't have to dig Mother Earth anymore, but we can dig our own products that already exist in our economy. Today, we have 2 fully certified recycling plants live in Luxembourg, so we're not just on capital markets, we're also in recycling, and in the south of Germany. And currently, we are rolling out our machine as a service with our clients, recycling centers, and OEMs in the US and Europe. So let's talk. We heard collaboration is key. So I want to talk to you about the 3 R's. I want to talk to you about the products that you have that we can remanufacture for you so they can have a second or a third life. I want to talk to you about the products that we can reuse the components inside for different products. And I want to talk to you about how we can help you recycle cleanly so that we can follow the easy principle of shit in, shit out in a chemical recycling process. And with that, I look forward to discovering shovels with you. Thank you.
All right. Beautiful. Antoine Welter. Yes. Okay. I promise you we speak about solutions. So we continue that path. And for that, I welcome our next startup. He is the CEO of Active Surfaces, Mr. Shiv Bhakta.
At Active Surfaces, we unlock more solar in more places. When I say energy, what's the biggest name that comes to mind? BP, Shell, Saudi Aramco, ExxonMobil, these are the energy Goliaths that have ran the industry for the past 100 years. But what if I told you the biggest name in energy are none of these players, but it could be this man? Because Amazon operates over 100 million square meters of rooftops around the world. And if you cover every inch of that with a solar panel, they could produce 40 terawatt hours of electricity, enough to power Portugal. And this is just one company. So why aren't they doing this? We had the same question. So we went to their facility in the UK and explored one of their rooftop installations. And they said the modules are cheap because China's making them, like we mentioned. But they're tough to install, and often they're too heavy for these buildings that they want to go on. This is all because the modules that we use today are these Generation 1 traditional silicon modules. Silicon is a ceramic, 95% of the supply chain is in China, and it is inherently fragile. This is what happens when you apply even a little bit of pressure to it. It shatters. Thank you to our CTO and co-founder. Folks tried to solve this 10, 15 years ago with Gen 2, but you had to sacrifice performance, efficiency, durability, and it wasn't cost competitive. But what we have is generation 3 of solar, something that has the performance of Gen 1, but the flexibility of Gen 2. It is similar power per area, it is low cost, cheap to manufacture, and you could do it entirely locally. And it's much faster to install, like a yoga mat on rolling onto buildings. I come from ExxonMobil and the US Department of Energy, and my co-founder, Dr. Richard Swartout, invented this in the labs of MIT, along with Dr. Vladimir Belovich, who runs MIT Nano, and Dr. Munji Bawendi, who is a Nobel laureate. Our technology can make Mr. Bezos the future face of energy, but it's not just Amazon. Imagine our solar going on BMW's cars, Lufthansa's planes, Hilton's hotels. And why stop there? If you have a surface, we could put our technology on it and generate power. Could we imagine a future where every surface can become the next power plant? Every surface can become active. If you imagine that future as well, then let's unlock it together.
Shiv Bhakta. Yay! Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get started for our next startup. He is the COO of Pulse Train. Please shower him with a round of applause because he has the next 3 minutes. Niclas Lehnert.
Every once in a while, a truly revolutionary technology comes around that changes everything. We at Pulse Train started with the question, what if an EV battery stops being a passive component? What if it starts thinking, acting, and controlling energy just like your brain controls your body? To answer this question, I brought you not one, not two, but 3 breakthrough innovations. The first one, a reconfigurable battery management system that controls each cell live. The second one, a fully integrated inverter and charger inside your battery pack. And the third one, a software-defined control unit that is the operating system of the future battery cells. So it's an inverter, a charger, and a BMS. An inverter, a charger, and a BMS. Are you getting it? It's no longer 3 separate devices. It's one single system. And let's talk about why this is important. Current powertrains are messed up. They're full of boxes, units, and wires. And this is adding weight, cost, and complexity. So we asked the question, why not removing them? So instead of wiring them all together, we fused them into one intelligent architecture. So with us, every battery cell is a building block within the powertrain, communicating, sensing, and switching, all perfectly synchronized. And what you are getting from it is faster charging, higher ranges, and significantly extended lifetime. And this is not an improvement. This is a paradigm change. And if we are very honest, we've been treating batteries for decades like a tank. We filled them, we drained them, and hoping that they would behave. With Pulse Train, this ends. With us, we are creating an active battery network, one that learns, that reacts, and in the end, is optimizing itself over its lifetime. And Alan Kay once said, if you're really serious about software, you should build your own hardware. And that's exactly what we are doing. We are not adding components, we are removing them. And this, what you get, is a new class of power electronics operated by a revolutionary operating system. And with us, the battery stops being a passive passenger, and it starts being the active driver of an efficient, safe, and sustainable mobility. And with this, Pulse Train is not simply managing energy. We are orchestrating it with this.
Thank you very much, Niclas Lehnert. And if you have someone in mind who should talk to Niclas, this is also, of course, a nice commitment. So take action, use the QR code, and send your commitment along. Our next startup, ladies and gentlemen, is the CEO and the co-founder of Reverion. What solution has he in his pockets, in his startup? Please welcome Stephan Herrmann.
Climate change is one of the most monumental challenges of our time. We have to solve it now. Not in 1 year, not tomorrow. We have to solve it now. Unfortunately, a big part of the puzzle is already in place. The wind and solar has become the cheapest form of energy available. So what's missing? We need to bridge the gap, because the sun is not always shining and the wind is not always blowing. We need to align generation and demand. And we don't have to just do that for a few hours. We have to do it for weeks. We have to cover the full Dunkelflaute. For this, we have created the Reverion Power Plant, a unique solution that is combining power generation and electrolysis in one unit, and it can switch in less than 1 minute between generation and consumption of excess power. Furthermore, it is the by far most efficient power plant in the world straight, with up to 80% of the energy fed as gas converted into power, and the other way around. And we can even do that CO2 negative at large scale. So the solution is there. We have it in hand to actually not only slow down climate change, but to truly reverse it. For this purpose, we are now scaling up the production of our power plants, and we are looking for partners and financing in order to achieve mass manufacturing and in order to really clean up the energy system. So if you are a manufacturer of any kind in large scale or financing manufacturing, please come and talk to me, and let's try and reverse what was perceived to not be reversible and turn the hourglass in order to achieve 100% clean energy, not in a few years, but straight. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephan. High five. Thank you. Wonderful. So for that pitch cluster, we are coming now to our last startup. And then I ask you for your commitment. So get ready. Scan the QR code already, or be ready to maybe smile back at me, and then find your commitment. Bienvenido to our next startup. He's the co-founder and CEO of BadX, to Pablo Castellanos Ramírez.
At BadX, we're making energy flow with nature. Conventional ion batteries are single-life products, contradicting the very principles of sustainability. We are responding by transforming energy storage in Latin America. You see, anybody could store energy. We make it sustainable and impactful. We're inspired by nature. Where we come from, water is nature's energy. It flows and transforms from the sea to the glaciers to the rivers and back in a continuous balanced cycle. Linear consumption breaks this balance. It generates waste, it depletes resources, and it leaves many without access to energy. And that is why we're introducing a battery ecosystem fit for the future. Bahia, low-voltage batteries for everyday appliances. Valle, medium-range batteries for all types of solar energy storage. And Sierra, high-voltage system fit for the utility sector. Our systems scale in complexity, from residential to high-tech industry, fitting on the most pressing needs of the energy transition. But it's not simple nature branding that is chic. Nature is our very design philosophy. With patented, scalable, and tested battery diagnosis technology, we're able to test and harness the unused potential of discarded EV batteries and turn it into stationary storage. Put it in short, we are making our energy storage circular. We've avoided over 170 megas that would have been consumed in first-life manufacturing. We've harnessed over 22 tons of hazardous waste, and we saved over 550 tons of CO2 emissions. We transformed battery modules into added value products, like water that was flowing and transforming. Also, we've chosen to be sustainable because true scalability comes from purpose. We're building a fair industry, providing above minimum wage entry-level jobs in high tech to youth in Colombia. This is generating innovation through purpose, profit through innovation. And further than that, we're taking our systems where they're needed the most, applying energy to provide education, access to health, and food security in rural Colombia. We're consolidating our presence in Colombia and getting ready to take the next steps across Latin America. And you can join our mission by amplifying our voice, helping us out, and joining our purpose. Because when energy flows with purpose, impact multiplies. Thank you.
Pablo, muchas gracias. High five,
Gracias.
low five, muchas gracias. I'll see you in a second. Thank you so much. A round of applause to all our amazing startups. That takes so much courage, and you all did so brilliantly. I'm so proud of you all.